Hello, how are you doing? Oh yeah, so thanks for sticking around to listen to me talk. Good to see you. Okay, first a bit about me. Third year ethical hacking student here at Abertay. My main interest is social engineering, so I really enjoy the human aspect. I enjoy the psychological aspects of hacking in general and stuff like that. Outside of university, I work at the Dundee Science Centre. So you have to forgive me if I start talking to you like you're 5 years old. Just need a shower or something. And at the bottom is my Twitter name, so if you want to give me some feedback, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, a bit about this talk. First, we're going to have a look at the background of social engineering, the psychological aspects, and the history. We're going to have a look at modern social engineering and methods. We're going to have a look at a little bit at the social engineering toolkit, that's the example section, and then finally we're going to have a look at the countermeasures, what can be done to stop social engineering becoming such a problem or being such a problem. Okay, first, what is social engineering? I've got this quote here from Chris Adnagi. The act of manipulating a person to take an action that may or may not be in the target's best interest. It pretty much sums it up. Can be influenced by, not just penetration testers. You can think of it as police using interrogation techniques. You can think about it as doctors and therapists trying to change someone's behavior for the better. So those are both obviously morally good uses of social engineering, but you also have people like thieves and con men who can use social engineering techniques to obviously steal stuff, which is bad. So it's quite easy to see why social engineering can be seen as a morally and legal grey area. Okay, why is social engineering so effective? Just like you'd have a program or an application on your computer that gets tested for bugs before it's released, and then they release patches if anyone finds a security vulnerability in it. You can't really do that with the human brain, even though there are bugs there. You can't release a patch that fixes all the bugs to everyone in the world. Social engineering can be combined with physical security weaknesses like rubbish locks on your doors or stuff like that to allow social engineers to even more access and stuff like that. Or like having ID badges on display, that can be a physical security weakness, because social engineers can take pictures of them, copy them, and then use them to pretend that they work. Okay, now I'm going to have a look at the background of social engineering, the psychology and the history. Okay, so psychology, the first aspect we're going to have a look at is cognitive biases. There's another quote there from Farrow. It's basically, you feel a strong emotion and that changes the way you would make a judgment. So if you're scared, then you're more likely to make an irrational judgment if you're excited. So like, people can send you an email saying, oh, your password's been hacked, send us your account details so we can reset your password. Or, oh, you've won this prize, send us your credit card details so we can give you the money. Next we're going to look at is body language. It can be used in a couple of ways by social engineers. Can be used to assure the target that the social engineer is a legitimate person. By that I don't mean assure them that they're not an alien, I mean assure them that they are who they say they are, so they work for the company they're trying to infiltrate and stuff like that. The way you can do that is just by acting friendly, acting confident, acting like you're supposed to be there, and most people will believe you. It can also be used to identify vulnerable targets, so if someone's slumped over the desk looking quite sad, then they're probably going to be more empathetic if you tell them a sob story about how you've lost your CV and you need to get on their computer to print them out. Someone who looks happy and alert is probably less likely to believe your sob story and is going to ask you lots of questions, might rumble you. Have a look at some different body language. This lovely lady looks like she's not very happy to talk to us because she's quite defensive, she's closed off her body. These two guys don't really look like they want to talk to each other either because they're closed. These two guys look like quite good friends because they're standing open like this, kind of like I'm talking to you. Micro-expressions. So the difference between micro-expressions and macro-expressions are that micro-expressions are not easily faked. Like if you fake a smile, then it's difficult to fake the eye muscle movement around your eyes to make it believable. And more alert people can tell the difference between a fake smile and a real smile, a genuine smile, by the eye movements. Also, like if you're trying to tell someone a sob story and you're like acting really sad, like shaking and stuff, but you don't have like the small micro expressions in your face that tell people you're sad, and they're probably less likely to believe you. Yeah, it also can help a social engineer identify false reactions in a person. Like if they are hesitating and contradicting themselves, and it's easy to tell if they're lying, and if they act happy but then you can tell they're not happy, then they probably, you're not who you say you are. Here's an example of micro expressions. We've got this guy, I can't remember his name, I think it's a professor. Picture A is a fake smile. Picture B is a real smile. You can tell by the contraction of the muscles around the eyes. And the last one is called neuro-linguistic programming. It's basically neuro means brain, linguistic language programming, making something work, so affecting the way that someone thinks in the brain using your language. You associate positive words with the topic you want to talk about, so they're more likely to feel happy about talking about it to you. You can also use it to build a rapport by matching their breathing rate and their posture. So if they go like this, then you go like this too. Then they know that you're paying attention to them, things like that. Okay, so the history of social engineering. Right back to the ancient Greeks, they gave this big horse filled with soldiers to the Troy, and then soldiers came out the horse and killed them at night time. They tricked them into thinking it was a present. So that's the first, one of the first examples of social engineering. You've probably all heard of these guys, Abagnale and Hogue. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Catch Me If You Can, the film. It's about Frank Abagnale Jr., who used like fake documents and stuff to trick people into thinking he was an airline pilot, lawyer, doctor, stuff like that. He eventually got caught and now he's working for the FBI as a security consultant, I think. This guy, James Hogue, got bigger balls than me. He picked his way into a university and then became a museum guard and managed to steal $50,000 worth of gems. Respect to him. Kevin Mitnick, one of the advocates of modern social engineering, thinks it's a big problem. He says it's easier to trick someone just giving a password, spend the effort trying to crack it. He started off by trying to get free bus journeys by asking bus conductors where they got their hole punches. I'm not entirely sure how he managed it, but obviously did. And he wrote this book called The Art of Deception, which I would recommend reading if you're interested in this sort of thing. These guys, these are my favourite. The Vidir brothers, they're blind and they have a heightened sense of hearing, so they called people up. Called people up and got them to put in their details with the key, and then they used their heightened sense of hearing to tell the difference in the tones so they could tell what they were entering. Shane McDougall, he was in a competition at DEF CON to social engineering competition, where he was in front of a live audience and managed to call up Walmart and get a load of information off of them. And then afterwards he said social engineering is the biggest threat to enterprise without doubt. Okay, modern methods of social engineering. Piggybacking, tailgating, that's basically you're carrying a big heavy box of stuff and you want to get into a secure area, and then someone opens the door, you time it right, and they'll probably let you in without checking for your ID. You tendency to be sympathetic, they might think, oh, this person's got a heavy box, I'll just open the door for them. Probably a bad idea. Phishing, whaling, phishing, kind of the same thing. Phishing is just, as you know, probably sending an email to someone trying to get them to give you some information. Whaling, directly targeting like a CEO or an executive of a company trying to get even more valuable information off of them. They might not be as security aware as lower down level employees. Phishing is phone phishing, so you could send someone an email with a phone number to call. They call it, they get to IVR, which stands for Interactive Voice Response System, and because that's a machine, and they then say, press 1 if your account's been hacked, you push it, and then put in account details, and the dial tone translator will tell you what they put in. They're probably more likely to talk to a machine, or some people are more likely to give their details to a machine because they think that a human won't be able to get access to it. Baiting, that's just leaving a infected USB stick lying around, and then human pick it up, put it into their machine, then use it to install a backdoor or steal information or whatever, come back and pick it up later on. Just leave it, abandon it. Social networks can be a good tool for a social engineer. Lots of people who are less security aware put a lot of valuable information. You can use it to impersonate an employee of the company they work for, or just contact them for phishing and stuff like that. If you know the format of their email addresses or their work numbers, because a lot of company mobile numbers are sequential, like the last 5 numbers will be like 521, 522, 523, so use that. Human nature, this is getting into dirty tactics here. Juan Pablo Roque, I love this guy. He was a Cuban spy and he managed to live in Florida, I think, for 4 years with his wife, because his wife thought he was just a normal guy, and then it turned out 4 years later he was a Cuban spy, and he ran away to Cuba and told Fidel Castro about all the American stuff. Intoxication, bit of a dirty tactic, judgment becomes impaired, people like to get drunk, can give away more information, but then people are more likely to employ this tactic when you can make millions from corporate espionage, so you need to be aware of this as well. Physical security, picking locks, fake security badges, GPS trackers. I'm not sure why I put that in there because that seems a bit too far. Going to track you, find out where you live. Hidden cameras to take pictures of security badges and then make fake copies of them. Okay, now we have a little look at statistics, a fairly quick look because they're quite boring. DEFCON 19 I was talking about earlier, there was a competition, a social engineering competition, 14 companies pulled up, quite big ones as well. IBM, AT&T, Apple, Walmart, United Airlines, things like that. All companies divulged some sensitive information, only 4 asserted some resistance, but not enough to stop any attacks. Stephen O'Boyle used to be a consultancy team lead, he's now the technical manager for SVN. He said they have a 75% success rate for social engineering attacks and 10% phishing emails that they send or reply to. So that's, if you send phishing emails to 100 people, 100 employees, then you're likely to get 10 passwords or usernames or whatever back. Checkpoint Software Technologies Limited, it's a bit of a mouthful, surveyed 853 IT professionals, and 62% of security professionals highly aware of the risk posed by education, highly aware of the risk posed by security, social engineering, which I think is actually quite low. If 38% of security professionals weren't aware of social engineering, then I'd say that some education needs to be done. And 48% of companies had suffered a social engineering attack of over 25 grams, and I think it was something like 17% had suffered a social engineering attack that cost them over 100 grand. So I think it's quite a big problem. Okay, now we're going to have a little look at an example. It's not really a demonstration because I'm actually doing anything. I'll look at the social engineering toolkit. Basically, this is a piece of software that comes with Backtrack, Kali, or you can get it for Windows, I think, that can be used to help social engineers carry out attacks quickly and easily. You can use it for credential harvesting, so getting people's usernames and passwords, sending phishing emails, creating infected USB sticks to leave around to infect people's computers if they pick them up. Pretty simple to use because I can use it. Yeah, this is just the main menu. You see all the different attacks you can use there: spear phishing, website infection, website attack vectors, things like that. Credential harvesting. This is one of the things I did. Creates a fake website for you and hosts it on your computer. This is the website that I created for me. Facebook looks quite realistic to me. Quite a lot of people probably wouldn't know the difference if they got sent an email saying, "Oh, the girl you like wants to be your friend. Go to this link and put in your password, and we'll make her your friend forever." Get the target. To go to the fake website, create a phishing email. Everyone gets emails from Facebook, so they are easy to fake. Cognitive biases, like I was talking about earlier. Someone's hacked your account, or some girl wants to be your friend, so go and put in your details. Make it seem legit. Create a fake email address or something, so they can, so they don't think it's you sending an email, and get hide the URL, so it seems like you're not actually going to a random computer, you're going to Facebook. And this is what it does in the end. I'm not sure if you can see that. Just sends you the email address and the password that they put in. Quite simple, scarily simple to be honest. Yeah, you can use it to make a shell. Creates a website, same as before. Just create a Tumblr, and when someone clicks on the sign up, it pops up this thing saying they usually want to secure Java applet, very suspiciously named. And quite a lot of people would probably click that without checking the box because they get these all the time, so yeah, sure. And then it just opens a shell on my computer. Okay, so now we've had a look at the modern methods, we've had a look at the history and the psychological aspects, what can be done to stop social engineering being as much of a problem. Education. One of the main countermeasures that I recommend for pretty much anything I do report on is education. If you educate people to a certain thing, then they're more likely to be on the lookout for it. Educating security professionals even more to the risks of social engineering, because they might not be aware of it. They might only be aware of things that go on the computers, like SQL injection and stuff like that. Educate even lower level employees, just general employees, to the risks that social engineering can bring about and how to spot social engineering. Good physical security. Don't let people follow you through a door without checking their ID badges. Get rid of unnecessary documents. Hide your ID badges so that people can't take pictures of them and make copies. General IT security, so don't write down passwords, leave them lying around. Don't pick up and plug in unknown USB sticks. Keep software up to date, stuff like that. Can generally thwart anything that social engineers are trying to do to computers. Social engineering landmines, they sound a lot more violent than they actually are. It's just basically, you can have someone on, just basically things that are designed to catch social engineers. So you can have someone on each level of a corporation whose job is to know who works there. And then if they see someone they don't know, then they can report them and get security to get them. Or you can have people who, when they call up, if they call security to ask for a password reset, they have to ask them a certain question, like, how's your wife? And they know they don't have a wife. So if they say, oh, my wife's fine, and they know it's a social engineering attack going on, so they can take the proper measures to try and catch the person who's carrying it out. I think that's about it. So thanks for listening, thanks for sticking around. Once again, my Twitter name, if you want to give me some feedback, that would be greatly appreciated. Any questions? Yeah.
I'll give you some feedback just now. I think that was an excellent overview in the time that you had.
Thanks a lot.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Great webinar.
What was that piece of software called?
It's called the Social Engineering Toolkit. It just comes with like Kali or Backtrack. Anyone else? No? If you don't, go have your lunch. Feel like a teacher.